Hey everyone, Mr. Gray3IS here, and I'm back with another video. Another Tesla install. This one's kind of an OEM Plus one. If you guys know me, you know I love my OEM Plus mods. So this one is actually pretty cool. Tesstudio sent me their Power Front Trunk mod. So what this does is it turns your manual front trunk, which you would have to pop by pressing this, and it doesn't actually do what it shows on the screen, but instead it just pops partially open like this, and then you go ahead and grab it from under here, and it has hydraulics that hold it up, kind of like a manual trunk, but a front trunk. So this mod is going to make it power open and power close, which how I think it should have came from the factory. And believe it or not, the Cybertruck is the only one that does this right off the bat with its big front trunk area. So it's going to be able to close and then automatically latch down here. We're just going to need to take off some of the surrounding areas, swap those out with some automatic closing shocks, and then easy as that. All right, we're going to start by removing this. Easy as that. Then from here you have a couple 10 mils. You have two right there. We have two more inside of there. And we're also going to pop this out by just getting our finger behind there. And this is just clips that pops out like so. Then it has a connector you just unplug back there. And then there's just some clips around the top, and then you go ahead and slide the air vent duct out of that white clip at the very top right there. Then we just remove this top one by sliding something into this little clip and pushing it out like that. And so the clip is out, and now this is out too. Then you just do the same for the bottom. And the bottom one is out too, and now it looks like this, and I just use a little screwdriver to pull that little shielding back. Then it's very easy to put the new ones on. The side with the wiring goes on the bottom. You can just go ahead and unwrap the wiring. First, I'm gonna feed this wiring through this bottom area so I can grab it from this side. Bottom first. Like so. And once you got the bottom one on, you're gonna go ahead and take these two 10mm bolts off the top and put this new bracket on. And it comes with two of them, and make sure you follow the direction of where the arrow goes because they're individual for each side. And this is important because this little ball here is bigger than that one, and the shock won't seat on it correctly unless you put this new one on. Super heavy duty. And these bolts are actually 13mm, so then you just reinstall the new one, just enough to be snug, and that's good. Then we can go ahead and take this shock and put it on, and it's on there good. And just replicate the same for the other side. Next, we're going to take off this latch assembly right here. And what I recommend doing is taking some masking tape and outline kind of where it sits, maybe even use a Sharpie. So that way when you put it on, you have to do minimal adjusting for the latch, because if you put it on way different than how you took it off, then your frunk is going to sit weird when it tries to latch fully. But we can start by removing this red clip first, like this, and then we can get the wires out of the way so we can get a nice outline with our tape. All right, we're all lined up. I use some Sharpie to outline it, and now we can remove these two 10mm bolts to remove the assembly. All right, it is removed and it looks like this. And then from here, we're gonna get our new latch situation, which is this motor along with this latch right here. Gonna match them up with this cord coming up from the bottom. Kind of move it out the way for a second, and then match the holes up like this. And you'll see there's now a new plug right here. And we are gonna need to put this little hook guy right onto this peg right here, right on that one. So what we want to do is push this spring away like so we can kind of move it for a second, and we can take it off like this, just set it aside, and then this latch is going to go onto that peg. We're going to throw this back on there, twist this back around and into there. So we're now good on that one. It's back like normal. And now we have this extra little key onto here. All right, so we can go ahead and reinstall this with putting the bolts through these two holes now, and just put it right back to where you got it. Next, we're going to install the positive wire to that positive terminal right there. And to get to this terminal, you literally just take this cover off by squeezing here, and I went ahead and stripped this wire, and I'm just gonna wrap it around the terminal and then cover it with electrical tape, because this seems like the best method for this part of the install. All right, it's wrapped onto there like that, and then I'm just gonna cover it and wrap it around in tape. And then from here, we can grab the harness and we can start plugging everything up. The only other thing you have to do before you plug everything in is take this ground and put it on a ground point. I'm going to use this one right there. You just unscrew it a little bit and then put the ground on and screw it back in. They all have a spot. They all plug into one of the plugs that they go to. They all have a single connection and you can't mess it up. The one that was a little funky for me was there are these plugs that intercept this module down here, and you pretty much unplug it, plug it in, and then plugs into there. But everything is lined up. I got it lined up best I can. And a little tip is if you test it and you close the frunk and you feel like it's a little sunken down just by a little bit, when you put your tub back in, it will actually raise it just a little bit. So it'll fix that tiny bit of flushness that you're trying to achieve. But I followed my tape lines in Sharpie and it is perfect. Just a tiniest bit sunken down maybe, but I think that will fix it and we should be good. But I tested it, it closes and opens, and I'll show you what I mean. You can plug your little panel back in, press this light button here. Boom, just like that. And then you can go on your app or in the infotainment to open it back up. Ooh, I just did it in my app real quick and now it's opening. It's hard to do it on both because I am recording from my phone, but just like that, it's easy peasy. You don't really need this tether. I kind of put it up there just in case it didn't work. You can pull it for an emergency latch, but there's really no need for it. But from here, you can just kind of organize the wires and the modules the best you can. You don't really want to bend these cables too much. And from there, you can just button everything back up. All right, so after some micro adjusting, it is good. If you put it too low, it won't actually suck the hood down when you close it after putting the Frunk bucket back in because of how thick the seal is. But I wanted it very perfect because of my OCD, so it is great now. I'll show you what I mean. Go ahead and push that guy. And there is no lip to it. It is flush, same line going all the way around, and yeah. But I had to open it real quick on my phone, but after this, all the 4 10mm screws are back in, the clips are pushed in. This little tray is put back in to feed the cabin air, and all we do is put the cowl back onto here with clips, and we're good to go. It's easy as that. If there's any questions at all whatsoever about this, please feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. It's all pretty straightforward. It didn't take too long. It doesn't take too much skill. It's just a little bit of wire organization and plugging and unplugging, and then you're good to go. This power front trunk is freaking awesome. Should have came with this from the factory. This is one of the main reasons I don't use the front trunk is because I don't like pushing on it with my hands. I feel like I'm gonna break it. And then you also get your dirty, greasy handprints on it, or I guess knuckle prints for however you put it down. But this is amazing. It works flawlessly. It's all plug and play, which is my favorite type of mod. And this is the best OEM Plus mod that I've done to this car. Well, we're all back together. It's looking good. Perfectly closing. Wow, look at that. Amazing. Well, I appreciate you guys for watching. I love these little Tesla modifications. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at gray_3is. I'm always on there. If you have questions about Tesla, Lexus, anything, personal questions, feel free. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching. This has been Mr. Gray 3is, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Walking on